to you, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor to welcome you officially to the maiden edition of the Ghana Muslim Entrepreneurs and Business Summit 2025. This is an event that is designed to inspire innovation and also promote entrepreneurship. Most importantly, also strengthen the socioeconomic foundation of our society. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for joining us here. For the first time, we've made history, bringing together industry leaders, leading entrepreneurs, and most importantly, people who are here to be innovators and also to develop our society. So as we begin with the maiden edition, I would like to urge all of you to have a mind open to new ideas, a heart open to collaboration, and also open a path where Muslim entrepreneurs become innovators and also builders of our society. Once again, welcome to the maiden edition of the Ghana Muslim Entrepreneurs and Business Summit. My name is Leila Shari, your MC, and I'll be doing this with Shamun Bako.
All right. In other words, what she's saying is that today we're going to be taught how to fish, not to be given the fish. And that's exactly why we're here together so that we can move our nation forward and the Muslim community can also integrate and be able to perform even better. To commence the event, we have to usher the name of the Almighty Allah in everything that we do. But before we do that, let's do a Quranic recitation. And we will call upon our lady, Nadra Abdullahi Lari, for the Quran recitation. Please put your hands together for her.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما كانوا يشعرون صدق الله العظيم.
At-Takbir. At-Takbir. Thank you, Our Lady Nadra, for such a beautiful, melodious voice reciting the Holy Quran. Thank you so much. At this juncture, I think it's proper that we do the opening prayer. And seated, representing the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Muaz Mukhtar Abbas, with all humility, will step down to offer the prayer. Please put your hands together for him.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Actually, I'm not here to represent His Eminence the National Chief Imam, as His Eminence cannot be represented in any summit or forum. It's very clear that I'm not up to that position. Instead, he asked me to come and convey a message to the organizers of this summit as to the reason why he is not present here. He said I should tell the organizers that he so much would have loved to be part of this program had it not been for a program that he slated the date at the central region. As I'm talking to you now, he is on his way to the central region for that program. We pray that Allah takes him and bring him back home safely. Before leaving home, he called me and instilled a special prayer in my tongue. And he said, if I should come to this program and it happened that I'm called to stand on his behalf and say the opening prayer, I shouldn't say anything beyond what he instilled to my tongue. So before I lose that from my tongue, I would like us to sit attentively and receive the prayer. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين يا ربنا يا خالق العوالم هل بيننا وبين كل ظالم يا ربنا أنت ترى ما قد جرى فاقسم بقهر من علينا جسرا يا ربنا عجل لنا بالفرج ونجنا من داعة وهرج يا ربنا عجل لنا بالفرج ونجنا من داعة وهرج يا ربنا عجل لنا بالفرج ونجنا من داعة وهرج وامدد علينا من هماك الأمن إسرارك من هل فيها يمنى بسر لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون والله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون هو الله الخالق البارئ والمصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم آمين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you very much.
All right, godiya muke Sheikh Muaz for such a powerful prayer. I think it's proper that we commence with the event. But before we do that, we have to introduce you the chairperson for the occasion. Ya kamata mu gabatar muku da maga kujeran wannan zama wanda zai tafiyar da zaman daga farko har ƙarshe. At this juncture, I would like to call upon my colleague, Layla, to come forward and introduce us the chairperson for the occasion before we do start. Layla, please do come. Please put your hands together for her.
A resounding applause, please. All right, thank you so much. And to introduce the chairman, I would like to invite Dr. Azindo, if he's in our midst. Or Mr. Majid, if you are here with us, please help us with the introduction of our chairperson for this morning. Shall we give him a round of applause? Please, you can do better. Let's welcome him.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. I'm ambushed to introduce my own leader. As we all know, when we are about to travel, either by air or by road, After passengers are seated, if it's by air, we need a pilot to fly us. If it's by road, we need a driver to drive us. And for a successful journey, it is incumbent on all passengers to give the pilot or the driver cooperation and peace of mind for a successful journey. In like manner, as we are seated here, we need somebody to steer the affairs of this program. And none other was fished out other than the Amir and missionary in charge of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission Ghana. Even though he is a religious person, he is a man of many colors. He serves Ghana in many other facets. For example, he's a member of the Ghana Peace Council. And in matters of peace, they are the people who drive out to have peace at the background of many things. So we could not have had any efficient or better chairman than the Amir and missionary in charge Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission Ghana, Molvi Mohammed bin Salih. Amir Saib, your audience. Audience, your chairman, Amir Saib. Jazakumullah.
Come on, you can do better. A round of applause. Thank you, Alhaji Majid, for that introduction. And now we'll take our chairman's remarks and His Excellency the Amir and Missionary in charge of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission Ghana, Molvi Mohammed bin Saleh. Mr. Chairman, your audience, your chairman. Let's give him a round of applause as he walks to the podium.
All right. So I think we'll hand over the mic to him, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Your Excellency, my brother, the Ambassador of Egypt to Ghana, my brethren, chiefs, and traditional leaders who are here with us, the ulama among us, academia, my sisters, business entrepreneurs, and all who have found themselves here in this hall today, I extend to all of you the Islamic salutation of Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. To start with all the humility that I can command, I humbly accept the honor done me to be the chairman for such an august gathering. And that, like as I said, I do so with all the humility that I can command, with the hope that all brethren will cooperate fully with me, would listen attentively to the speeches that will be delivered, would ask appropriate questions when it is time for us to ask the questions, would try to gather as much information as possible so that by the time we leave here, we are fortified sufficiently enough to meet the purpose for which we have gathered here. But most importantly is discipline. Discipline is the catchword, and we need it for a successful gathering of this nature. All brethren, therefore, are entreated to cooperate with us fully so that at the end of this function, each and every one of us will have a reason why he or she should say, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. With this, I thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Maulvi Mohammed bin Saleh, he's the Amir and missionary in charge of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, this event wouldn't have been possible without the help of some organizations, and I would like to acknowledge the Bank of Ghana, GIPC, Ghana Investment Promotion Center. We also have Blue Skies, Trillium Ghana, Verna, Alcil Service Limited, we have Afro Arab, Amin, and Student Investment Account, ZP Zonal Pharma Limited. We also have Razor Catering. We also have SML Life is Tech, the Northern Bazaar, and Kenzie Fashion Institute, not forgetting Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission. Also, our media partners is Pan-African Television, Hafiz TV. We also have GBC, Al-Nur, Baraka FM, Ikra Radio, Alpha 104.9 FM, Marhaba Media Limited. We also have Zongo TV as well. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our partners.
All right, moving forward. At this moment, we'll do the welcome address, and to do us the honor is Mudassir Idris Abdul Momin, Director of Programs and Administration, IPP, Ghana. Please put your hands together for him. While we do that, I've been notified that we should be doing a summary in the Hausa language so that we would allow for our audience who are watching us live and whatever they find themselves to also follow through. And also from here, we'll also be able to break it down for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Distinguished guests, our eminent chairman, Maulvi Mohammed bin Saleh, the keynote speaker, our speakers, respected Islamic scholars, esteemed Muslim business leaders, entrepreneurs, sponsors, and partners, members from the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to say a greetings to you in Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's given me an honor and a profound gratitude to welcome you all to the maiden edition of the Ghana Muslim Entrepreneurs and Business Summit. As Muslim, today marks an important gathering of visionaries, business leaders, innovators, aspiring entrepreneurs within our Muslim communities who are united by a common goal to harness business opportunity, strengthen network, contribute meaningfully to the socio-economic development of Ghana. Over the years, Muslim entrepreneurs in Ghana have been contributing quietly yet effectively in sectors such as commerce, real estate, pharmaceuticals, agriculture, finance, creative art, and many more. But despite this remarkable contribution, one thing has remained clear. Our growing business community have been without a platform that serve as a fulcrum for networking, collaboration, and knowledge sharing. Today, with this maiden edition, we begin the journey to change that narrative. This event is not merely a gathering, it is a declaration of intent, an intent to empower the Muslim business community, an intent to build stronger network, an intent to inspire the generation of Muslim leaders, and intend to place Muslim-owned businesses as essential players in Ghana's socio-economic development. And most importantly, and intend to promote ethical and socially responsible businesses that align with the timeless values of Islam. The theme for this Maiden Summit, engagement for purpose to empower Muslim business and entrepreneur, could not have been more appropriate. This is because we live in an era where entrepreneurship is no longer optional. It is the engine that drives innovation, reduces unemployment, creates wealth, and also strengthens communities. As Muslims, it is imperative for us to be guided by the principles of integrity, justice, fairness, and service to humanity. When these principles are shaped, when these principles shape our entrepreneurial ventures, the results are enterprises that do not only pursue profit, but reduces unemployment and uplift our social and economic standard. As mentioned earlier, this summit aimed to bring together a rich diversity of participants, seasoned entrepreneurs with decades of experience, young startups seeking direction, corporate leaders offering expertise, and development partners who are ready to collaborate. Today in this room, we have the potential to shape the future of our business that will stand the test of time. We have the potential to unlock ideas that will birth innovation hubs, new industries, and job opportunities for the Muslim youth in our communities. We also have the potential to build bridges across sectors and across regions, ensuring that the Muslim business community is recognized as a formidable contributor to Ghana's socio-economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, as we engage in our today's conversation and networking opportunities, that entrepreneurship in Islam is both a means of livelihood and an act of worship, because Islam encourages us to trade, values innovation, and honor hard work. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was himself a merchant, known for honesty, excellence, and trust. The principles he embodied remain relevant in today's business world, and as Muslims, we should be the first in line to demonstrate this trait in our various business endeavors. We must therefore commit ourselves to building businesses that reflect these values, business that do not exploit but empower, business that do not inflate prices unfairly but trade with transparency, business that do not cut corners but hold integrity as their foundation. When we conduct our affairs with excellence, Allah will place barakah or blessings in everything that we do. As Muslim entrepreneurs and business leaders, this summit also gives us the opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to supporting one another, identifying ourselves, get to know what each and every business person does and offers, and learning to trade among ourselves. The Muslim business ecosystem can only thrive when we invest in ourselves, promote each other's products and services, mentor the youth, and create partnerships that are mutually beneficial. Collaboration is the new currency of global business game. And as Muslims, we must not be left behind. The time is now. As we network and engage in insightful discussion, explore innovative solutions, and establish vital partnership, let us remember the importance of unity and inclusivity. The challenges that confront entrepreneurs and business leaders in Ghana, ranging from access to loan and venture capital, demand collective strategies and shared commitment to overcome. Thanks to Bank of Ghana, especially the Governor, Dr. Johnson Pandit Esiama, for spearheading the introduction of a comprehensive framework for non-interest banking and finance, a framework that will regulate not only banking, but also capital market like the sukuk, which is like Islamic bonds, and insurance called the takafu. All these banking and financial policies are expected to bring relief and improve businesses' operation within the Muslim communities, as it possesses all the financial elements that fall within the purview of acceptable Islamic business financing and operation. Furthermore, I encourage each participant to maximize this opportunity, build network, take home actionable ideas that will transform your enterprises. Let this summit inspire a new wave of business entrepreneurs who will leave a legacy of resilience, innovation, and prosperity. On behalf of the Institute for Peace and Progress, I once again welcome you warmly to this summit and wish you fruitful deliberation and successful engagement. May Allah bless this summit and grant us the wisdom to be lasting, to make a lasting impact in Ghana's business community. Thank you very much.
A round of applause once again. Thank you so much to Mudassir Idris Abdul Mumin. He is the Director of Programs and Admin at IPP Ghana. Again, let's say a very big thank you to our partners. We have the Bank of Ghana. We have Ghana Investment Promotion Center, NDA. We also have Zango Development Fund. Thank you so much. A round of applause for these partners. Without them, this event wouldn't have been a possibility. Also, we have Blue Skies, Twelium Ghana. People, please keep clapping for our partners. Thank you so much. And then we have Verna, our Sales Services Limited, Afro-Arab. We have Amin. We also have SIC. Initially, I mentioned Student Investment Account, but I think that is one of their programs. SIC, thank you so much. Zonal Pharma Limited, Razor Catering. We have SML Limited, Life is Tech, and Life is Tech Africa, the Northern Bazaar. We have Kenzie Fashion Institute and Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission Media Partners. We also have Pan-African Television, Hafiz TV, GBC, Al Nur Baraka FM. We have Ikra Radio, Alpha Radio, Marhaba Media, Zango TV, and Vibe Town Media. You are also reminded that we are live on social media on Vibe Town Media, so you can go stream, share with your friends who are not present here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have some key figures in our midst whose presence here add immense value to today's occasion. And so I'd like to invite my co-MC to help us with the introduction and acknowledgement of our dignitaries. Now, first, we have Alaji Yadom Boache Kanto, the Asante Apa Ankobia Hene. He is the first presentation. He will be doing our presentation subsequently. He is our Sales Services Limited, Nana Alhaji Yadom Boache Kanto. A round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us here this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have in our midst the CEO. He's actually the CEO of Alsil. A round of applause for him. We also have the CEO of the Green Shield Limited, Alhaji Abdul Razak Khailan. A round of applause for him. Okay, so I think he's not in our midst now. He'll be joining us soon. We also have Honorable Abdul Razak Baba, who is a Deputy CEO of GIPC. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us here. And I think I'll do the final one and pass over the microphone to my co-MC. We also have Mr. Zakaria Mumuni, who is the first Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana. A round of applause. And we also have His Excellency Wael Fati, who is the Ambassador of Egypt to Ghana. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us this morning. And I'll hand over to you now.
Thank you, thank you. We also have in our midst Mustafa Abubakar Batalemi, otherwise known as Mustafa Maslow, Deputy CEO, Tema Oil Refinery. He's here with us. Please put your hands together for him. And then representing the Hausa kinship in the Greater Accra region, we have Osman Abdullahi Harun, matawallan birnin Accra da kewaye. Muna da Murtala Alhassan Falaken Ankara. Muna da Galadima Alhaji Mubarak Shado. Muna da Chief and leader of the Ewe Muslim community, Volta Togbe Ahmed Abbas. And then we also have Audu Bashiru, Zongo Youth for Discipline spokesperson. Is also here with us. I want to say thank you, I appreciate you. We have in our midst also from the Ayawaso Council of Zongo Chiefs, Sarki Nuhu Agali, Sarkin Tamashak. Da an fi sanin su da buzu, wayanzu sun gyara sunan wai Tamashak ne, ba buza ya bane. Wai buzun nan zagi ne. Wayanzu sun gyara sun ce Tamashak. Muna tare da Chief Abdulmumin Sarkin Zabarmawa. Shi kuma yana nan tare da mu, mun gode. Muna tare da Sarki Mustapha Obungumbungu. Sunan sai ka ci banku, in ba haka ba, baka iyawa. Akwai kuma Chief Zakaria Brema, Sarkin Yarbawa, KBAC. Akin. Akwai kuma Sarki Usman, Sarkin Wangarawa. Dukkaninku muna muku godiya, Allah ya saka da khairi. Muna da Zaliya Qasim, a very well-known activist, and she's the PRO of the House of Youth Ghana. She's also here seated with us. I've seen Bushra Yamdao Abbas, a very known agri business lady. I mean, going all over the place with agriculture. Is also here. I'm sure she's going to be sharing her thought on agri business. She's done nothing with agri, but now she's feeding on agri. She's here with us. Can you rise up? Let's see you. Please put your hands together for her. And we have in our midst Irbad Ibrahim, a very known figure in the Zongo community, doing incredible things, security, merchandise business, and everything else he does. He's living in the posh areas of Accra currently. Please put your hands together for Irbad Ibrahim. Yeah. And then we also have the Imam of the Ghana Immigration Service, Imam Hafiz. Please, can you rise and let's see you. Please put your hands together for him. We have Kushtain, youth ambassador. Is all over the place fighting against drug addiction and all of that. And we are happy that he's still with us, always wearing a particular color. Rise up so that we see the color you're wearing. Please put your hands together for him. A couple of few I will mention, but in the meantime, because we have a lot more to do, we have a lot more to do. Today, we'll break it down. We will ask the relevant question. We want our businesses to grow, and that's what we want to see all of us partaking and participating in this summit, so that at the end of the day, just as the chairperson mentioned, we're going to have a successful program. Please put your hands together for yourself once again. Continue.
So we'll quickly jump on our first item for the day. We're getting into the program proper. I would like to invite our first speaker. Our first presentation will be coming from the CEO of the Alcil Services Limited, Nana Alhaji Yadom Boache Kanto, who is the Asante Apa and Kobia Hene. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Come on, you can do better. A round of applause.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I am Nana Iyadom Boache Kanto without a Alhaj. But because in Ghana, every Muslim is Al-Hajj, I'll still take it like that. Maybe, inshallah, very soon it will be official. I'm here to make a presentation on starting and growing a formidable business with Islamic values. The Amir, Your Excellency, the Egyptian ambassador, representative from the Bank of Ghana, my own brother, Ismail Adam, invited guests, very, very special invited guest over here. Ladies and gentlemen, the entire Muslim business community, the chiefs seated, and all other people seated here. You know, the cliche is that when somebody is given the opportunity to speak, usually it looks as if they all say that they are very honored and privileged to do that. But I must tell you that over here as I stand, it's not a cliche. I am truly humbled and honored to be given the opportunity to make this presentation. I'll say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah ta'ala wa barakatuh to all of you. So I'll say yes, it's an honor and privilege to address this August gathering of Muslim entrepreneurs and business leaders. We as Muslims represent a significant force in Ghana's development. The strength, the energy, and the potential of this nation lies with us partly. For this reason, a positive shift in our collective mindset is not only necessary for personal advancement, but vital for national progress. You know, everything a person does or achieves begins with the mind. When the mind is focused and purposeful, one's actions reflect that discipline of being focused and purposeful. However, if the mind is distracted, lazy, or uncertain, then the result too will reflect same. A disorganized and unproductive situation may occur. A human being is composed of body, soul, and spirit. According to the Holy Quran, the ultimate purpose for man's creation, or for Allah creating man, is to worship him. And as indicated in Surah Az-Zariyat, Quran chapter 51, verse 56, it says, "And I have not created the jinn and mankind except that they should worship me." But while spiritual devotion is our divine purpose, the body also needs to be nourished to serve as a vessel to fulfill this sacred duty of worshiping Allah. In this way, economic activities and entrepreneurship are not separate from worship. They complement it. To thrive spiritually, we must also strive socially and economically. Earning a halal livelihood, providing for our families, serving the community, and contributing to national development are all acts of worship when done with sincere intentions. Mr. Ladies and gentlemen, the Oxford Dictionary defines business as a person's regular occupation, profession, or trade. It can also be described as an organization or enterprising entity engaged in a commercial, industrial, or professional activity. These may be profit-making or non-profit in nature. Business has many structures. It takes many forms, some of which are sole proprietorship, limited liability, partnership, and corporations. Each of these structures have unique characteristics, but all of these structures can be a vehicle or vessel for us Muslims and Muslim entrepreneurs to contribute to community development if operated within ethical and halal framework. The question is business encouraged in Islam? And the answer is absolutely yes. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself was a trader before prophethood. And many of the Sahaba or his companions were successful businessmen. Business is sunnah when practiced ethically. That's the key. When practiced ethically, it becomes sunnah. The goal, however, must always be to please Allah in business, not for profit. Profits, growth, and the fame that comes with business must be secondary to services rendered to society in honesty and community development. Islam discourages selfish ambition and encourages collective benefit. As a Muslim, our business mindset should be community-oriented, rooted in values like integrity, charity, justice, and fair dealings. As mentioned in the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Qasas, that's Quran chapter 28, verse 77, it says, "But seek through that way which Allah has given you, the home of the hereafter, and yet do not forget your share of the world. And yet do not forget your share of the world. And do good as Allah has done good to you." Now, if the point has clearly been made by this verse that Muslims can also seek the bounties of Allah, the question is, how are we supposed to do so in this material-driven, globalized world without breaking the rules of our faith? That's the question. In a paper article titled "Ethics in Doing Business in Islamic Law," published in a journal, Stitnesser, the writer indicated that in practice, doing business according to Islamic law has been carried out by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a guide to Muslims. So doing business is the same as carrying out the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In an article by Ataullah Hayal Nasser and Jalis Ahmed in Al-Hakam magazine titled "Islamic Guidance on Trade and Business in the Words of Hazrat Muslim Ma'ud," they clearly extracted some key points from the guides and guidance of the holy leader in the starting and growing of ethical, formidable businesses. Points extracted were four. The first one, in their opinion, when starting and growing a formidable business, is one has to be hard work and also acquired knowledge of the industry in which you want to go into. You work very hard, but also you don't have to have knowledge of the industry. Number two, a businessman or a merchant must remain informed on the market. You have to be very conscious of what is happening in the environment in which you are operating. The third one, according to these two in this article in Al-Hakam magazine, is for one to refrain from, as fraud itself is a national vice. Not only is it a religious vice, it's also a national vice. So refrain from it when doing business. And the fourth one, they extracted from Hazrat Muslim Ma'ud, is that be just and honor your contracts. If you have an agreement with somebody in business, be just and honor it. The article also speaks of guidance on loans and injunctions against artificially lowering of price, withholding of supplies from the market, and an encouragement of Muslims to work hard, as well as admonishing us to be hospitable whilst doing business. It is important to note that being an honest business person is achievable for a difficult task. The Holy Prophet of Islam in Sunnah al-Tirmidhi 1209 is reported by Abu Sa'id to have said, "The honest and trustworthy merchant or a businessman will be with the prophets, the truthful, and the martyrs on the day of judgment." The statement above is true, but I believe people who do business are better placed to understand that than those who do not. Truly, it is very difficult to be squeaky clean in business, especially in a society such as ours. It is not surprising the Prophet likened a very clean businessman to the status of prophets and martyrs, because I believe he knows what goes into doing business. This indeed is difficult but achievable. It is achievable to be clean in business if pursued with prayers and good deeds. For a Muslim businessman, a business person, to be an exemplary character in society, he has to follow the rules carefully laid out by Allah in the Holy Quran rules of justice, fairness, charity, and integrity. These rules have been reinforced by the Holy Prophet saying, character and practices. The rules have further been broken down to our level by the Hulafas for easy understanding and adoption. Ladies and gentlemen, research has indicated that small businesses and startups are the key and the quickest way to reduce unemployment, poverty, social exclusion in any society. And Muslim communities are no exception to this rule. What it means is that small business startups is the key to of the poverty or the situation that we may find ourselves in. It is for this reason, ladies and gentlemen, it is for this reason that members of the Islamic community in Ghana should deem it obligatory to attempt starting and growing formidable businesses with Islamic values. The promised social reformer, Hazrat Bashiruddin Mahmud Ahmed, in his poem to the nation's youth, admonished Muslim youth, and indeed the entire youth of the world, that, and it says, do not be seekers of idle rest, but do and dare. It's amazing how the holy leader started by saying do before daring, because the understanding is that if anybody tries to attempt anything, the person may dare to do it, but he's asking us to do and dare. My understanding of this is that we should step up to the fire even whilst it's burning, then we can think about the consequences later. Starting, sustaining, and growing a business is not an easy venture. Difficulties therein influences many entrepreneurs to indulge in many unsavory activities in order to survive. It is, however, key to note that the role of values and ethics in the cooperating or in corporate world is unique. It may determine whether a business may survive or collapse. Ethics. At this point, I'd like to call all of you to action. Members of the business community in Ghana. The action is, let us rethink our approach to business. Putting Allah first, ethics at the center of our business, and service to others as our mission should be the goal. When Muslims thrive in business, and we do so with integrity and excellence, we change not only our lives, but uplift our entire ummah. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I end with a quote from Surah Al-Najm, which is Quran chapter 53, verse 40. And it says, and that man will have nothing but what he strives with his hands. This quotation is self-explanatory. It is that, in partly, the commentary may be a lot, but in part, it means that we only get the results of our hands. So whatever we do, whether we did it with integrity or otherwise, the result is what we show. May Allah guide us in all our endeavors and cause the works of our hands to bear fruits that are pleasing to Himself, He, Allah, and also beneficial to our families, communities, and country. Before I say my last salam to you, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of my wife. She's lawyer Nana Amma Gina Gorman, for being here with me and all of us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
A resounding applause, please. I can't hear. It should be loud. Thank you so much, Nana Alhaji Yadomboachi Kanto. He said we shouldn't attach the Alhaji, but I just mentioned that. The Asante Apa Ankobia Heni, CEO of the Alcil Service Limited. Thank you so much for your contribution. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like us to jump on an exercise, but then if you didn't speak anything at all from this presentation, I remember that everything begins in the mind, and you are urged to establish your business deep-rooted in Islamic values and principle. Shamun, take us away.
All right, thank you, my lady. So at this moment, we'll do a solidarity message. We'll invite upon His Excellency Wael Fateh, Ambassador of Egypt to Ghana. Put your hands together for him.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Mr. Chairman, dear friends and colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to attend this important gathering today. I'm a newcomer to Ghana. I'm a new ambassador of Egypt in Accra. I have only less than 3 months here. It's first time to come to Ghana, and it's first time for me to work in the whole continent of Africa. I didn't serve before in any African countries. But actually, I feel very happy and comfortable and welcomed. And it's a great honor to start my tenure by attending such important business community events. Egypt and Ghana have a long history, are sharing history, geography, and the same value system. Both countries believe that youth and entrepreneurs can lead the development in our society. We believe in youth. We believe in women empowering. We have the same value system. We believe in justice. We are here to share with you our success stories and try to help our brothers in the Muslim community and all the communities of Ghana. We are ready to share with you our development strategies. We are ready to help in capacity building. We are ready to help in training. We are presenting a lot of projects here in Ghana, and we have several Egyptian companies are participating in development here in Ghana. I don't want to say any speeches or talk traditionally as usually in all such events. I'm just speaking from my heart, just because I believe that untraditional events require untraditional speeches as well. So I don't want to take too much time from your side. We are just telling you that we are here, the Egyptian embassy is here, ready to facilitate the business to business between both countries, as well as people to people relationship. We believe that people to people relationship is most important, and we have a lot to do. We have a lot to share. We believe that Ghana have a lot of opportunities currently, and we are very ready to help. We would like to bring several Egyptian companies to invest here in Ghana. Would like to help in bringing a lot of international conferences. Currently, there is an IT conference which usually held in Egypt. We are bringing the whole conference with all the invitees to hold their event here in Ghana. Because we believe that you have a lot and we have a lot to do. So please rely on us in enhancing the bilateral relations, the trade between both countries, and people-to-people relationship. All the best to all of you, and for sure, we are wishing you a lot of success. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Please, once again, put your hands together for him. As you know, Ambassador will be taking a leave of us any moment from now because he has to attend to many other important things. We want to say thank you for coming. We do really appreciate you. To a dunkule dai wato babban jakadar kasarsa na Misra wato Egypt a nan kasar Ghana abin da ya ce shine wato a shirye suke su taimaka wajen baiwa al'ummar Ghana karfin gwiwa da kuma ilimi domin mu iya mu bunkasa kanmu musamman ta fuskan kasuwanci da sana'o'i. Ya kuma ce wannan karin ne ya so ma aiki kuma yana ma kasar Ghana fatan alheri ko me ake bukata insha Allah idan aka tuntube su kowane irin shawara kake bukata in ka tuntube su da ikon Allah su ma su taimaka domin ba da gudunmuwa. Ya ce wuri haka wuri ne na jama'a na jawabai ba wuri ne na dogon bayani ba, don haka ya takaita jawaban sai ce ko me ake bukata idan aka tutube shi ko aka zo nan gidan jakadancin tasu zai taimaka wajen a karasa dukkanin bayanai da ake bukata. We'll continue with our acknowledgement. We have in our midst economic attaché representing the Iranian ambassador, Hamid Darvashand is here. Darvashand, I want to say thank you. I appreciate you for coming. We also have in our midst Sariki Mahmoud, Sarikin Zabarmawa is also here. Sariki Namosawa na Aiwasu shi kuma yana nan. Muna da yariman wato Jinja Dogon shi ma yana nan tare da mu, muna godiya. Muna da Sarki Tamimu Masaud Sarkin Kwatakwali shi kuma yana nan tare da mu, mun gode sosai. Muna da, we have in our midst Adam Baba, CEO Zakat and Sadaqah Trust Fund. You are here. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you. Mun gode sosai. We have in our midst Sarki Al Mahmoud Inalga, Paramount Chief of the Tamashek Community Ghana. I told you some time back they were Buzu, and they have integrated and changed the name to Tamashek. So their leader actually is also here. One of the Sarki Gongo Galadima Atoma Zongo. Galadima Atoma Zongo. Ina yake? Mun gaishe ka, Allah ya taimaka, Allah ya bar zumunci. And also in our midst we have Abubakar Garba Usman, wazirin Fulani kuma shahararren ɗan jarida ne, mai gidanmu ne, ni dan kaina ya koya min aiki. Muna nan muna maka fatan alheri. Abubakar Garba is a veteran journalist with the Hausa, GBC Hausa, and he's doing very well. He's also cabinet member from the Fulani Chieftaincy. He's also here with us. Mongodi Sosai Allah Temaka. We have in our midst Muhammad Shima Shine Sarkin Tamashek na Aiwasu. Muna da Isifu Abdullahi, muna da Alhaji Edi, Greater Accra Peace Ambassador. Alhaji Edi Jeko, Greater Accra Peace Ambassador yana nan. Kai kuma mun gode sosai, muna maka fatan alheri, Allah ya bar zumunci. Okay, there's a lady. Okay, we have in our midst Mariam Abdullahi Dunia Safari. She's a lady entrepreneur, exploring business, travel, and all of that. She happens to be the daughter of the CEO of Marhaba Media Limited, Alhaji Abdullahi Baba Sharif. She's here. She's also doing well in the recreational industry, travel, and all of that. Now she's got some arrangement she's doing for Morocco. If you want to go there and for vacation and you want to have fun with the family and all of that, she's got a very bouquet, a very fantastic package that she's doing, and we are appreciating her. I've seen also the managing director of Marhaba Media Limited, Hajia Harijatu Ergidariyaba, is also here. I've seen the CEO of Zongo Development Fund, Ahmed Ayuba, is also here. I want to say thank you. We appreciate you. So I'll call upon my colleague to continue with the rest of the program. Thank you.
All right, people, you are reminded that we are live on Facebook on Vibe Town Media. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take our next presentation from the CEO of GIPC, Honorable Abdulrazak Baba. He's represented by Zainab Isa. A round of applause for her as she walked to the podium. Zainab Isa, are you here with us? Zainab Isa. Okay, so I think she's here with us. A round of applause for her.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hey, you are not happy to see me. I'm feeling tense because I think I'm in a room full of very big people. People I've admired from afar behind me, both behind me and in front of me. And this is a very big shoe to fill. My DCEO would have wanted to be here, but unfortunately his schedule couldn't permit him to be here. So I'm here to do this small presentation on his behalf. It's also very personal for me to be here because it's been something that I feel that as Muslims we should do this gathering often. In my position as the public relations officer for GIPC, and if you know what GIPC is about, we are into investment promotion, one of the foremost investment promotion agencies in Ghana. And what we do is to organize business forums, events, basically to put together young businesses, teach them what they need to do to project themselves, and then, you know, put them up there, put them at scale with other big businesses as well. And being one of the team leads or members of that organizes these events, sometimes it's quite a bit demoralizing, if I'll put it, that we don't get to see a lot more of our Muslim businesses coming on board to participate in these forums and events. And you see how our other colleagues are eager to put themselves out there, whether their businesses are too small, too big, whatever it is, they are looking to, you know, learn, try and find ways of, you know, putting themselves on the map. And I feel that in our space as Muslims, there's a lot more that we have that when we decide to put ourselves out there, we'll make it like this instant. But unfortunately, either we don't explore, try and find out where these opportunities are, or we don't show interest in doing these things. Recently, we had this roadshow in Japan. I think we had GEPA bringing together businesses. And some of the businesses, the only one business I could immediately identify and I resonated more with instantly was Mason Yusuf, the guy that does the perfume. He was not there in person, but then his product was there on the shelf. We had the Chinese businesses coming around, and you could see that his stand was filled with a lot of people because they saw a product that was there that they needed to, you know, easily, you know, want to partner or see what the business was like. And I felt that if just one person from our community has been able to drive these people to come on their stand, even if when he was not there, he had a rep there, but then you could see people trooping into his stand, trying to ask questions, and I'm like, if about 3 or 4 businesses within the same community, then I don't know what we would have done. Because right now, we would have been building empires, employing a lot more people within our own space. So what I'm here to say is that we need to collaborate more. We need to find ways of, you know, identifying the opportunities that we have and then tap into it. There's nothing wrong. You always have to, you know, whenever you hear the opportunity, just walk into the office, ask what you can do, what the center can do, what the organization can do for you. For GIPC, we have done a number of events. I think in previous years, we organized something called the Taste of Ghana, where I pushed some of our Muslim women to come and exhibit their products. And I was happy that a number of them came on board. Right now, we are also running something that we call the Investment Opportunity Mapping Project. Basically, this project is to identify investment opportunities, whether small or big. All we are trying to do is that we want to package these business opportunities into a handbook. We've had a lot of inquiries from investors that are looking to partner, either find somebody that is into their space, that you could say that, okay, we can easily match make them and say, this person is into your space, you can come and speak to them and see what opportunities there are available. I know within our Muslim community, we have a lot of these businesses available, but do we have the data personally within our space? We don't. So we are asking that, reach out to us, come to the center. In fact, try and, you know, always be looking out for where the opportunities are. That is where your starting point would be. There's a lot we could do. When we go to our market spaces, in fact, when somebody asks me where is Nima, I say there's no Nima, we have an ECOWAS market. Because we have a lot of countries that are within that space that are trading. And we know how to trade. And I quite remember when our first speaker was saying, it is within our history as Muslims. That is what we started. Trading is in our space, and I think we need to own that space and then push it so that wherever we find ourselves, we know that everyone or anyone within that space can easily identify that, yes, this is a Muslim, they are trustworthy, they know what they are doing, and you can deal with them and be safe doing that business with it. This is my small message. I couldn't read my boss's message because he hasn't approved it. So this is coming from me personally to you all, that let's collaborate, let's see what the opportunities are, and let's work together. We are united. Let's be united and then push the agenda forward so that we can all succeed together. Thank you. Salaam alaikum.
Once again, for Hajia Zainab Isa, please put your hands together for her. She's actually one of our own, and this is where she's gotten to. So it's always good that you have one of you to also help or contribute their quota towards the sustenance of the Zongo and Muslim community. So at this moment, we'll do a breather. We have one of our youngest and uprising superstar when it comes to the spoken word or poetry, I should say. She's in the person of Noura, the linguist. She's coming to give us a very incredible performance. Please put your hands together for her.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Noura Mohammed, known as Noura the Linguist. As we are here to celebrate business, we should also remember that we are Muslims and we need to bring Allah in everything we do. Yeah. You know, they told us to keep business and faith in separate rooms. Like sugar and salt in different jars, they said, pray with one heart and trade with the other. As if our souls could be split into two, like atom. But I remember when our caravan used to move to the rhythm of the azan, when the leisure and the prayer mat was woven from the same fabric, when the handshake was a covenant witnessed by the most merciful, Bismillah was the first words on their lips before the first coin was ever counted. So when you walk into that boardroom, don't you dare leave your soul at the door. Carry it with you, a lantern in the dark. Let your prophets be your jihad. Let your sujood be a gratitude. Now, let your business plan be your striving. You are striving not just for wealth, but you are building a legacy. A legacy that builds not just skyscrapers that scratches the heavens, but communities that embody heaven within them. I see you. The one balancing the spreadsheets and the salah timer, I see you. The one whose dreams is fueled by dua and data. They call you entrepreneur, but I call you inheritor. The inheritor of a golden chain, a chain of merchants and mathematicians, of scholars and scientists who knew that the ultimate startup was civilization, and its most valuable asset is Iman. We are not just building businesses. We are building ecosystems of empowerment. We are the new caravan, trading not just in goods, but in good, profiting not just in capital, but in character. We are the entrepreneurs of Iman, the CEOs of compassion, the investors in our collective destiny. So rise, let them see your light, Nur, me, in your spreadsheet. Let them hear the echo of Ikra in your innovation. They told us to choose between the mosque and the marketplace, but our ancestors whispered, why not both? The same hands that built the great mosque of Larabanga can build empires that stand for centuries. The same mind that gave the world algebra can create new pathways to prosperity. So when you draft your business plan, write it with the ink of integrity. When you negotiate contracts, let your words be weighed on the scale of justice. Let your brand be synonymous to blessings, and let your success be measured not just in millions, but in lives you elevate, in communities you nourish, the doors of risk you open for others. We are the generation that can prove that the most valuable currency isn't in banks, but in the good we circulate between each other. That the richest portfolio isn't stocks and bonds, but the good deeds that compound eternally. So go ahead, build your empire, but build it with bricks of faith. Mortar it with mercy, roof it with responsibility. Let your business be a beacon that guides lost sheep to the share of sustenance. Because we are not just business people, we are light bearers, noors of Umme's economy, architects of our legacy where wealth and worship walk hand in hand. We are entrepreneurs of eternity, trading in time for timeless rewards, building today that will echo till eternity. And that is the business model approved by the heavens. Amen.
Can I hear resounding applause for her? So Nura Mohammed is a poet. Now we jump on our next presentation, but then I hope that we are all taking note. Very soon we are going to change the face of the program, and I'm sure that you have lingering questions that you want to ask our industry leaders here, because they have been doing all the talking. So if you have any questions, make sure that you're writing them down, because we'll be taking questions. But before then, we'll jump on our next presentation from the CEO of the Green Shield Limited, Alhaji Abdul Razak Khailan. A round of applause for him. Another applause.
Thank you, Madam MC, for that brilliant presentation. Mr. Chairman, distinguished panelists, members of the diplomatic corps, our revered chiefs and ulumas. Like you know, my name is always Alhaji Abdul Razak Kailani. I really want to thank organizers of this function for that brilliant thoughtfulness. When I look at the panelists, I believe you couldn't have get it better than what you have here. Because I went a bit into their profiling and I realized that they are people of substance who are going to have very wonderful conversations with us. Let me commend that lady poet with that brilliant presentation, a bit of business with religiosity attached to it. It's so beautiful. The Lexus is great. Like I told you, the panelists, particularly the chairman of this function, I have an occasion to, I think 2 occasions, which were really master stroke. I mean, his disposition. This man, you know, he's the head of the Ahmadiyya movement. They normally would do this annual, conventions at the general area of the North Legon when you're moving towards Agbogba or a little beyond it. At one of their conversations there, they had a very wonderful and a brilliant MC who was so much in charge of the issue. At a particular point, he needed to introduce the guest of honor, who incidentally happened to be our Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Like I said, the MC was extremely fantastic. At the tail end of his introduction, when he needed to invite the guest of honor, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to deliver, then one politician quickly came and took the microphone from the MC I said, oh, no, you didn't do a good job of it. You should have added that. The man is the incoming president of the Republic of Ghana. Mr. Chairman, you did a very brilliant work of that. I believe you recall all that. You might have forgotten. Mr. Chairman just sprouted off his seat as though he was sitting on a spring. Then he took the mic and had the gusto to rubbish that political hogwash which that politician did. And I said, yes, yes, this man is a very fantastic personality and a very proud Muslim. Let's give him a round of applause before. Then my second encounter with him, no, I haven't, have met him this way, have conversation eyeballs to eyeballs before. My next encounter with him was at the Ghana Armed Forces General Headquarters, particularly at the office of the Chief of Defense Staff, who was my very good friend, General Opompi Pra. I was sitting at a reception, waiting to enter to see my friend, the CDS. Then Mr. Chairman walked in there. Normally, I was in my normal, traditional apparel. Then he did that. Salamu alaikum. I said, wa alaikum salam. Then he recognized the guys at the reception. Then the guys at the reception, Alaji, who is that man? And I said, oh, he is the head of the Ahmadiyya movement. Oh, he must be a good man. So he's definitely a very good man. At least having experienced my issue with him regarding the conversion that he had. I said, look, he's a very good man. And he said, oh, as for you Muslims, you really, I said, no, it's part of our religious, injunctions. You don't talk down on people. You don't look at people as low-lifers. The Quran and the Hadith admonishes us that every person you see, give him the right recognition. Don't look down. So the man is a very good Muslim. He said, oh, Alaji, we know. So, Mr. Chairman, you made me proud that day. Seriously. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking. I see this man in the mode of my very, very good friend and a big mentor, Sheikh Yahya Al-Amin. If you're close to Sheikh Yahya Al-Amin, your life can only be better. These are people who will look you straight in the face when you mess up, and they will tell you. So these people are people we should be looking out to as our flag bearers. If you want to talk about social, religious, engagement and interactions. So, Mr. Chairman, you are a very good flag bearer to the Muslim community. My gentleman who invited me, who gave me this appointment, were telling me, Elijah, you need to write something. We need to get a script from you. I said, I don't know how to write. At my age, I don't have that mental energy. But I can talk. And I will talk till the cows come home. But I'm not going to do that here because we're working within the constraint of time. Let me tell you how honored I am to be here having this conversation with you. It's not too easy to get self-recognition. I am fantastically honored. So I was looking at the platform, the panelists, and I didn't see that gender balance. Seriously. I'm going to take the organizers on me. I'm a very spot on person. You know, I'm going to take them on. That next time we need to ensure gender balance. Our women are fantastic. Oh. Seriously. Women are extremely fantastic. Hey, thank you for clapping. They are, as a matter of fact, they are pretty fantastic. They are compassionate. They are very good. They are very relatable. They take good care of us. God has given them all the beautiful, whatever you can think of in your life. And if God blesses you with a wife who's a bit above average, then you are home and dry. I do that because I was born by a very fantastic woman. A beautiful, light-skinned Ewe woman from the Volta region. She gave birth to me and took a very, very good care of me. Because I lost my father at a very tender age. This woman was just there. She was extremely there for me. And whatever I have in life, I owe it to her. I always pray that Almighty Allah bless her in their grave and put her to the Jannah to Firdaus. But you see, if you press the wrong button, they can be very wicked. Why should you press the wrong button then? They almost give you all the treats of your life. What should take your finger to press the wrong button? So be very careful, you the men here. The way you treat your wives. I'm not that overly fantastic as a husband. Once in a while, I'll cross the path, but I have the strength to say, oh, madam, I'm sorry. Be careful. All right. Sure. The man is telling me 3 minutes. You see, what I found, the lacuna I see in our Muslim communities, leadership. For a long time, we don't get our leadership issues right. I have been so much involved with national chief imams, issues from way back in time, At a point, I can say without any fear that the office was like a stinking stable. We did the best. There was one Dr. Gomda at Legon, Justice Tanko, Karim Daniel, a lot of such wonderful people with a huge commitment. But the stable was so stinking. And we had terrible people in that stable. Anyway, it's a bit manageable now, the lack of Abdul Latif, who chaperones the old man here and there. He's doing quite well, At least he makes the old man stable and all the beautiful whatever is coming on to him, But there was opportunity we missed as Muslims in this country. The emergence of COMOG. COMOG was like a total umbrella group to regulate the Muslim community. But you see, they have an egoistical problems. The COMOG leadership and the office of the National Imam, there was that egoistical thing. Meanwhile, Chief Imam, I don't know whether he still is, he was the total whatever of the COMOG community. When they have issue, they meet, they come out with their own presentations. Masa, they go and tag 4 or 5 sheet paper later and present it to the woman. Which university did the woman go? Then the very people you are having issue with, they will take the letter, read it, God knows what they will tell the old man. So there's no forward movement. The organizers of this function, basically, the fundamental issue you have now is that you are dealing with the Muslim community. So you need to factor these kind of things into your whatever. So that we need to get the fundamental business of the leadership issue properly secured. Then we can move on to whatever we want to go to. So that is the problem of the issue. I am not a politician. That is the last thing I would wish to be in my life. Mustafa, I'm sorry. But I'm a very politically responsible somebody. I pride myself in telling the bad politicians from the good one. So that when I have my issues, I will know how to handle it. This is what, as a citizen, at least we need to be doing. Develop the capacity to tell a bad politician from a good one. All these things that we have in here, the philosophy behind all this thing, is contingent on politics. Mr. Chairman, am I making sense? It's contingent on politics. So involve yourself in politics. We get the wrong people. Look, even in our Muslim communities, when you have people like Chairman, Yahya Amin and his likes, we're looking for people who can't even hold a candle. Want to compare it to them. People who can't even hold a candle. And even their understanding of Islam is mechanical. Meanwhile, Islam is an intellectual enterprise. So you need to identify the right people who have what it takes to tell you what Islam is really about. We are looking at the wrong direction most of the time. You know. Let's be very conscious. Let's be very, very steadfast in identifying the people we can deal with on business of religiosity. It's very, very important. Right? Master, you don't give me some 2 moments. I have to leave my house and come. Thank you. Alhamdulillah, we have a government today who is giving Islam the right recognition. Look at our boys and girls in the scheme of affairs in this country. Have we ever had it that way? Mr. Chairman, have we ever had it that way? I don't mean to commit you. I just want to know whether I'm making sense to you. Thank you very much. You are a very good man. Have this holiday, additional holiday for Eid al-Adha. Imagine you slaughter your big cow. You say, take 1 day and deal with the business of the cow. How is it possible? It's not. And besides, we had a problem particularly with the Eid Fitr. That lacuna, or you know, that kind of thing. We need to understand that if you get somebody who recognizes you, you don't only just recognize, you pray for him. You pray for him. And he reduced the Hajj fare. Can you imagine? Hajj fare has been a business enterprise for some of the people. But he reduced it. And he stood up for our girls who are being prevented from adorning the hijab. Asante people say, open. You know? And you see, as for our political terrain, it's not the best. You can have people with all sorts of letters by their names. Professor this, Professor that. But when you talk, you feel like throwing it out. And what that tells me is that intellectualism is not synonymous with wisdom. We see it everywhere. Even within our Muslim community. There are some clergies, like I said earlier, they are just mechanical in their handle of the Islam. Talk about malaiku wanda kirai da wani kuliki su 70,000 za su kare. Come on. This defies intelligence. God is not that wicked, though he's going to handle you, the one I kill will handle you in the way you conducted yourself. But that kuliki dubu saba'in, think about it, it's not really settling well with me, So when they talk to you like that, tell them to come again, all right? So that you can get it. Yeah, I'm talking on the political something. Particularly this business of galamsey. Me, I can't eat any food from those areas. Even orange, I don't buy. I don't buy. I can't. It's very serious. I've stopped eating kontomiri. Unless the one I can get from Koforidua, my base, or, somewhere in the non-galamsey areas. The ecological genocide which is going on in that space is very, very frightening. Seriously, extremely frightening. At times when I see the optics, I just fall into some funny, situation. Thank you. I'll stop. So, this is a situation where you get a politician on the political campaign trail. Galamsey yenja ne, yenja yochina. Why? So you are telling the people the water that they are drinking, you're going to put a lot more poison in it. Hey, we should be looking at the people we vote for. This man is coming again. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and attention.
We all know that Father Alhaji Khailani, it's like someone who has gotten whatever he wants in life and is enjoying the moment. And that's the kind of life our father is living. He's enjoying the moment, doesn't care about time. He's just enjoying life gracefully. I want to say thank you. I appreciate you.
So you realize that Alhaji mentioned that he doesn't do politics, and then he went on to say that we don't have a government who cares about Muslims. Anyway, thank you so much. A round of applause for him. Now, this is just to let you know that the Ghana Commercial Bank is running the GCB Hajj account. So if you want any information, they're outside there. You can help yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, we move to our next itinerary for the day. And then we mentioned that we're going to change the face of the program. So we'll allow our panel members to give us the assent in 5 minutes. And then we'll take questions from you. So I guess I'll begin with you.
So just as you mentioned, we're going to start right about now, and we'll start off with Alhaji Mustafa Abubakar Batlemi Maslok to give us a preliminary message for 5 minutes, and then we'll do same with other members of the high table, and then thereafter we'll open the forum for questions. I believe that is the purpose of this gathering, for all of us to know the itinerary and the ways and means in which we can improve upon our businesses, merchandise business and opportunities that we are all in. So we'll start off with Alhaji Mustafa Abubakar Batlemi Mustafa Maslok. Please put your hands together for him.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ به من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا حبيبنا وشفيعنا محمد عبده ورسوله. Our chairman, Maulvi Mohammed bin Saleh, our chiefs, our representative from the National Chief Imam, our ambassadors, the ulama gathered here, our mothers, I greet you with the Islamic salutations of peace and love. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I've been invited here as the Deputy Managing Director of Tamar Refinery. But then while sitting, a call came through from the keynote speaker, Honorable Rashid Pelpo, who is supposed to be here. But then because of the funeral that we have in Salaga of the Executive Secretary of His Excellency the President today, he had to attend the funeral, so he asked for his apologies and said that I should step in. A difficult job to do because I just have only 5 minutes. I wouldn't bore you much, but then just to also say that our chairman for the occasion, Maulvi himself, is an entrepreneur. He's not only a spiritual father, he's a farmer, a top-notch farmer as well. And that must be stated in this our gathering. And we thank you for that, Maulvi. Islam is not just a religion that has catered for our spiritual needs, but has also provided guidance in all spheres of our lives. There are Islamic underpinnings in all institutions of our social structure, in government, family, economic, and education. Although all institutions of our social structure are important, one that ensures the issues of bread and butter in our societies is the economic institution. The state plays a very large role in shaping the economy, but opportunities are also made available for private entrepreneurship to flourish and aid in socio-economic development. Economics survive on commerce and trade. The drivers of these sectors in the private sector are entrepreneurs. Commerce and business are done within a framework that ensures benefit not only to the parties involved, but also to the communities and the nation at large. Muslim entrepreneurs are also known as halalpreneurs, must put at the back of their minds the issue of being fair and candid, uphold trust, and adopt Islamic principles in their dealings. Personal interest must not override national interest, or even the interest of the businesses entities they set up. As far as entrepreneurship is concerned, it is to build a strong network to make trust a bedrock for businesses. Trust will form the foundation for putting measures and putting resources together in building giant industries as against one-man businesses with little capital. And I've always said that to become a successful business entrepreneur, you don't need to have much amount of money or huge amount of money to start. You can start small and become big. My brothers and sisters in Islam, we have a number of examples we can cite as sitting here to be able to spur us on to build more entrepreneurs within Ghana. Today, the likes of Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, a top entrepreneur who started small. In 1997, he started what we call the engineers and planners. He had about maybe one excavator. But as we speak, is one, if not the fourth, richest persons in Ghana. He's built his own business empire and has also built what we call the Jata Cement. He started small, but he's ended up big and has employed not less than 3,000 people in his agency alone. Atakbir. Today, not only is he into Jata and machinery, but he's a poultry farmer. Ibrahim Mahama has over 150,000 eggs and 10,000 broilers at his farm. He's diversified in other areas as well. I will go on to say our own brother, Osai Kwame Despite, of Peace FM, OKFM. It will interest all of you to know that he started as, a chainsaw operator. One day he was at his farm or in the forest when a big tree fell on his chainsaw machine. And so he lost it. But he wasn't down, he wasn't disillusioned. He picked up the pieces and came to Kantamanto and began selling cassettes. Those days, we all know cassettes, music cassettes. Yes, Despite. He started selling. He sold feeding bottles. He sold padlocks. Today, Osai Kwame Despite, we all know, is one of the richest men in Ghana. He started from somewhere. And today, he's somebody. Another person I would want to bring to your attention is our own father, the late Alhaji Abdul Mumin, popularly known as Alhaji Nara. We all do know a man who was versed in transport and other real estates. One of the wealthiest persons we've ever had in Kumasi. May Allah grant him Jannah. He did a lot for the Muslim Ummah. He started small, and he was one of the millionaires, if not billionaires, in Ghana. I can go on and mention Alhaji Asuma Banda. May Allah grant him Jannah. He was for Antrak, and then Antrak shipping. We all know his life story and what he came to do for the Muslim Ummah. Not to take you far, our father Dangote started as a trader, importing sugar, importing salt. And today, out of that, he built a Dangote refinery for sugar. Went ahead to build Dangote cement. And today, he has one of the largest refineries in Africa, if not West Africa, maybe Africa. 650,000 barrels per day being produced in Nigeria. Allahu Akbar. I'm giving you these examples to let you know that all of these businessmen who started with little capital. They started maybe with a loan or a help from someone. Yes, we can do it. I applaud the organizers, the Ghana Muslim Entrepreneurs and Business Forum Summit, for this wonderful program. And to say that, inshallah, next year when we come, we must see all our business entrepreneurs gathered here with us. We must take advantage of them to let them also mentor some of our young ones coming out from the universities. And to be an entrepreneur, you don't need, forgive my language and hear me clearly, if you don't have the intelligence to be able to go to school, that will not make you feel that you cannot be an entrepreneur. To go to school is an added advantage to help you with your books. But today, don't say that because I haven't gone to school, I cannot make it. And another example I'll give you before I come to my final words is the fact that one of the richest men in the world, Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. He started school, and then for 3 semesters, only 3 semesters, he fell out of school and established Microsoft. Today, Microsoft is what? The largest software company we can have in the world. And is one of the richest men in the world. And so, your inability to be able to go to school should not deprive you of establishing your passion. You have a passion, not every one of us here. Allah has given us a passion for what we can do. Unless you don't tap into that passion. And so look at your vision and realize your own dream. I'm happy to state that one of the things His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is doing for us as the Muslim Ummah is to be able to introduce the Islamic banking. And that is the non-interest banking. Already plans are far advanced. The governor met the Muslim Ummah about 2 months ago at the Bank of Ghana to be able to let them understand where we're going with Islamic banking. May Allah bring it back to fruition. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has also stated through the Zongo Development Fund that we are going to, and it is in the manifesto, we are going to roll out what we call the Soyeya Fund. The Soyeya Fund is a form of a microfinance, credit that would advance some credit to our Muslim Ummah, those who are into trading. Those who want to go out to bring in, whether it's maize or you are into food stuff or whatever. It's bringing the Soyeya Fund, and very soon it will be launched. That is a form of building more entrepreneurs for the Muslim Ummah. And so these are policies that were enrolled for us to take advantage of. And I entreat each and every one of us not to sit, because I've always said that the universities, the whole public sector, Mr. Chairman, the workforce of the public sector is no more than 700,000. That's the police, the military, the nurses, the doctors you see. They are no more than 700,000. Yet our children who finish school, the universities, every one of them wants to work in the public sector. If 700,000 is what the government can take, and we have 100 and something thousand, or more than 150,000 coming out from the universities every year, tell me where they will fit in. Because those who retire from the public sector are not more than 100,000. But yet we continue to churn out graduates every year, more than 150,000. And so if we don't begin to have more entrepreneurs for our children and students to be able to go into their own business life, the unemployment issue will lead our children to be in the basis that we see, the attire basis, as well as Samagida Bakomi. And that is the major challenge we are facing. I'm not saying sitting at attire basis after close of work is bad, but to sit throughout the day, you are at a base, and even calculating how New York is formed, or even doing your own, you are just, I mean, because some would so yeah, God, I'm the New York market pound. You are based in New York. And so it's important that we get them to start somewhere. Don't be shy. One of the things that, Mr. Chairman, our people get to coil back is to think that when I go to stand by the street and I'm selling that PK or Mentos or Duster or whatever, like we see some of our comrades do, I'll belittle myself. We shouldn't think that way. Don't be shy of what you're doing once it is halal. Kakajikunya. Where you give your family a bread and butter, make it a point to go for it. These same individuals you see on the streets are the ones who go back home during Christmas. They go back home in Kwewu and whatever, and you see that they built something on the foundation, on the land back home. And some of them even get money to be able to go back abroad. We can do it as Muslims. And so I want to thank all of you and to thank the organizers and say, we must begin to have, after this summit, a national awards for our business entrepreneurs. And I know Ghana Muslim Entrepreneurs Business Summit will take it up. Next year, we must assemble all our businessmen here, or wherever we can have, and begin to reward them and tax them to be able to take as many of our young ones and mentor them so that Islam and Zongo will move forward. I want to leave you with a quote which says that the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing the work. The way to get started is to quit talking. Let's stop talking, some of us. Let's stop talking and begin to put some of our thoughts and vision into action. And this is by the words of Walt Disney. And I want to thank all of you on behalf of Honorable Rashid Purple, the Minister for Employment, and on behalf of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. We are open to make sure that the banking sector, the microfinance sector, will open its doors to as many of our people to be able to go into their business. I thank you so much. God bless you. Assalamu alaikum.
A resounding applause for our speaker. Thank you so much. Mustafa Abubakar is the Deputy CEO of the Tema Oil Refinery. Also, you are reminded that we are live on Vibe Media on Facebook, and also reminded that we have SIC FSL in our midst. They have their stands out there. And Ghana Commercial Bank is also running their GCB Hajj account. Make sure that you approach them. Their stands are also outside. Shamun, can you give us a summary?
Thank you so much. So while we are seated waiting for Alhaji Mustafa Abubakar Bataleme Maslok to finish his delivery, it was so sweet that the organizer thought it wise that we have to do a summary translation in the Hausa language, what he said. To a takaice dai abinda babban bakon namu ya gabatar shine ya gode da waɗanda suka shirya wannan taro na cewar wannan taro abu ne mai da ko ba ba da dama a yi san yadda za a gudanar da harkoki na kasuwanci da kuma yadda za mu ci amfanin juna ta fuskan kasuwanci. Idan wasu suna yi suna samun nasara, mu ma al'ummar zango, al'ummar musulmi mukan iya yi. Sai ya ci gaba da bayanin cewa akwai waɗanda yake daga cikinmu ne sun taka rawar gani 'yan ƙasar Ghana domin mu bar mu san inda suka soma kuma inda suka kai. Ya yi misali da Despite. Dr. Osei Kwame Despite ya soma ne yana sai da cassette da kaɗan-kaɗan ya fara da kayan abinci har yanzu ya kai a matsayin biloniya a ƙasar Ghana. Ya kuma je ya ce akwai babanmu Alhaji Naira daga Kotala birnin Kumasi, wanda yake shahararren ɗan kasuwa ne, wanda yake harkansa shine transportation, irin atakuleta da sauransu zuwa ɗauko kaya. Ya soma ne da kaɗan-kaɗan har ya kai wannan matsayi ya shiga. In ka je Kumasi ba lungu da baka ganin gidan Naira. Ya ce waɗannan duk sun fara ne da kaɗan-kaɗan suka haura suka kai inda suka kai. To me zai sa mu ma al'ummar zango ba za mu iya mu matsa mu kai wannan matsayi ba? Ya kuma ce kaga wasu ƙananan ayyuka da ake sai ga kamar kana rena. Ya ce abin da kake yi kake samun abin kai bakin salati kaka rena, domin da kaɗan-kaɗan in ka soma za ka ga cewa shekara ya kai ka tattara kuɗi ka kai gida. Wallahi ire-iren waɗannan da suke sai da irin handkerchief, irin karen motoci wato mate da sauransu, da kaɗan-kaɗan suke tara kuɗi. Wallahi an kaje ƙauyukan su suke gina gida da sauransu. Har ma ya kai fage na san yanzu ma ba ruwan da boga, saboda abin da mate ko mai sai da handkerchief zai yi wani wuri, boga in ya zo da fiye watan shi ko voltikin shi ana wuligi da shi, ba ruwanmu da su. To hakan na nuna cewar idan mu ma ba mu rena abin da muke yi ba, wallahi mun kai fage da daudanmu, amma mun bullo wuri sai ga ana durkusa ce wannan mai dauda ce, kai shine ke kula da gida. To wannan na nuna cewar mu ma mun yi. Ya ce gwamnatinsa kasancewa tana kula da al'umma, kazalika wannan tafiya da ake yi su ma su ba da gudunmawa su taimaka ma al'ummar musulmi da zango. Ya ce don haka ka kafa wannan tafiya na soyayya fan. Ya ce tafiya na soyayya fan wato asusu ne da aka kafa wanda za a raka baiwa mata akasari ƙananan rance na cewar wannan kuɗin sun samu su iya su je su juya. In tana zuwa ɗauko tumatiri ne, in tana zuwa ɗauko masara, gero, ta je ta ɗauko tana juyawa tana samun kuɗinta da kaɗan-kaɗan tana biya ba tare da wani wato kuɗin ruwa ba, interest. Wato wace waɗannan duka ana yi ne domin a ga cewar washe gari ko gobe in ya kai ya kasance al'ummar zango su ma sun bunƙasa, al'ummar musulmi sun bunƙasa, su ma sun shiga harkan business da kasuwanci saboda tafiyanmu ya ƙara kyau ya karfafa. A takaice abin da ya faɗi kenan.
There's one thing that caught my attention in his presentation. He said, anger knows no shame. So we'll move on to our next presentation, and this one will come from the Commissioner of Insurance, Dr. Abiba Zakaria, and she's represented by Mr. Hafiz. A round of applause.
Distinguished Chair, representative of the eminent Chief Imam, ladies and gentlemen, I start off by greeting you with the best of greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is indeed a great honor to be here representing the Commissioner of Insurance, Dr. Abiba Zakaria. She sends her warmest greetings to everybody at the summit. She wished that she would have represented and participated. Unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond her control, she has asked that I stand in her stead to speak to the summit. First and foremost, the theme for the summit, engagement for purpose, to empower Muslim leaders and entrepreneurs. It's not only very succinct, but it also is very aligned with one of our key imperatives as an insurance regulator, and that is the development of the insurance market. Chairman, if you indulge me, I would briefly just explain about insurance. So insurance business is generally a pool. You have a number of people contributing money into the pool in the hope that you will not have losses coming from everybody, so that the few unfortunate ones, you would provide respite to them. Generally, if you look at it from the strictly from the Islamic jurisprudence perspective, there are some gaps because you have issues around riba, for example. You have issues around excessive uncertainty around some insurance products and the speculative nature of some insurance products. And so because of this, you have a critical mass of our population, especially Muslim communities, finding it very difficult to find some insurance products very attractive. But there is a solution to it, and that is why this summit is very important. You have Muslims entrepreneurs who on an ongoing basis are looking to expand their operations and etc. Now, the insurance market offers us an opportunity to provide solutions that are aligned to our theological faith and etc. And one of the key products that we can develop to get traction for our Muslim communities is takaful. Now, the insurance market, we have what we call our sandbox environment. And this is what the sandbox environment does. It offers us an opportunity to test solutions that are new, solutions that are not conventional or in our mainstream insurance market, so that from the regulatory perspective, we can assess to see whether or not there is traction to that solution. Now, that offers us as entrepreneurs an opportunity to design products that are anchored at providing solutions to people which are insurance in nature for the insurance market. Once you get that solution into the sandbox environment, we are able to test it, and if it works, we find it into mainstream markets. Mr. Chair, I would also like to mention that as a policy initiative, the National Insurance Commission is working towards developing a policy for the operations of takaful, so that it will become much easier for us to design solutions that are targeted to many people who are currently unserved or underserved. In insurance practice, there is one very important thing that we call the risk protection gap. Now, let me explain it. If you have a risk event, for example, we have floods in Ghana, and you were to count the amount of losses that emanate from the flood, and you were to juxtapose that losses to the component that insurance companies cover, often you would see that there is a monumental difference between the total amount of losses that people suffocate under when you have this flood situation and etc., compared to insurance coverage. Now, how do you then design solutions that are able to address these needs? And that is why it is important that as key stakeholders who are very open to the Islamic practice, you get interest into joining the insurance landscape and designing solutions that first and foremost will provide you a sustainable business, but you also gives you an opportunity to serve a critical mass of our people who on a daily basis are suffering and they do not have solutions to their needs and etc. So the Commissioner of Insurance wishes everybody well, and she says that one of the insurance market is open to the Muslim community and that she is ever ready to engage us. On this note, I would like to thank everybody and say the Commissioner expresses a deepest. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A resounding applause. So that was a presentation from the Commissioner of Insurance, Dr. Abiba Zakaria, read to you by Mr. Hafiz. A round of applause to him once again. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we jump on our final presentation before we get into our solidarity speakers. And then I'd like to invite the First Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Mr. Zakaria Mumuni. He's not in our midst, so he will be represented by Ishmael Adam. A round of applause for him.
The chairman. So I will stand on the existing protocols established and say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So Dr. Mumuni Zakari, who is the first deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, was invited to be part of the discussion. But another important engagement took him somewhere, and he asked me to represent him at this program. What he was asked to speak on borders on the Islamic economic system, the transparent, the just, the fair Islamic economic system, and how that can impact on the socio-economic development of our country. And so, based on the fact that we have just 5 minutes, I will just look at those economic systems, the underlying principles of those that economic system, and then see how it is impacted on our socio-economic development, or how it can impact on our socio-economic development. And so the first issue that I'd like to talk about is the economic system where it prohibits charging of interest by financial institutions. And so at the core of Islamic economic system is a trajectory that promotes risk sharing and not risk shifting. And so both the entrepreneur and the bank shares both the profit and the risk. And so this kind of economic system prevents exploitative interest being charged on businessmen like you, because there are concepts, one called musharaka, one called mudaraba, which allows for profit sharing by both the borrower and the lender. And when that happens, it impacts positively, especially on those doing SME businesses, which is the backbone of our economy. Then there's also this principle that beyond, for every monetary activity, there should be an underlying asset. And so in Islam, we don't see money as a commodity to be traded in. And that is what is happening in our banks. You go, they give you money, they put a very high interest on it, and they expect you to pay back. What Islam does is to link a tangible asset or service underlying that activity, that financial activity. And so that principle discourages speculative trading, which is the bane of the global economic crisis that we've been having. Another principle underlying Islamic economic system is the issue of social security in the form of zakat, where it is mandatory for the rich to transfer some of their wealth to cater for the poor. And so this zakat system could be a powerful tool for funding poverty alleviation, for funding education, for funding healthcare, and providing a safety net for people who are vulnerable in our society. And so based on that, and as our friend from the Tamale Refinery said, one of the issues in the manifesto of NDC was to get Islamic form of finance, which I said borders on transparency, borders on trust, borders on justice, and borders on fairness. And it will interest you to know that the person who was appointed to lead this discussion or this journey is a Christian. We just wanted to dispel the notion that the issue of bringing Islamic finance in Ghana is to Islamize the country. And so we thought it through and got a Christian who is well versed in Islamic finance to lead the discussion. He's the person of Professor John Gachi, who was a professor in finance at the University of Cape Coast before joining the Bank of Ghana. And he is the one leading this journey. I think I saw one of the committee members. I don't know whether he's gone back. So that is his son, a native of Wa, who is part of, and I think you should get that for the people to see you, who is part of the team that is putting the regulatory framework in place for us to start with this journey. Let me say that the team has been able to put a draft in place, a draft for the general public to discuss and give their inputs. And so as Muslim community, as business people, our hope is that you help in reshaping the draft in the interest of the country at large. But beyond putting the regulation in place, as I said, the discussion was to look at the impact of Islamic economic system on the economic well-being of Ghanaians. And this system, as I said, is fair, is just, is transparent. I always say that when you have a transparent system, it breeds credibility. And when you have credibility, it breeds trust. And so one way is to ensure that everything that is happening in the economic system is fair and just, is transparent. So as a businessman here, what you need to think about is ask yourself, are you paying fair wages to your employees? And if you're also here as an employee, ask yourself whether you are giving the fair due that the businessman expects from you. It's a two-way affair. Much as you expect fair wages from the employer, you also need to work hard for the employer to get that value that he requires from you. Then there's also the issue of a trust. And so in the boardroom, what are we discussing? Are we encouraging trust? Are we just building that social capital of trust? Or we are just concerned about profit making? And with the Islamic economic system, the issue of trust, the issue of building trust and building that social capital, and not only leveraging on profit, is one of the key essentials of that system. Then also the issue of full disclosure. You are going into the contract. There are some hidden issues in the contract, but you don't make that known to the other party. Islam doesn't allow that. And so Islam requires that we be open, we be fair, so that each party knows the kind of contract is entering into. And that, when that is done, we expect to have a fair and just economic system. What is the other impact? And so there are millions of Ghanaians who are Muslims but wouldn't want to participate in the conventional banking because they think that it's not in line with their Islamic beliefs and Islamic values. And so when we are able to bring this kind of financial system that is in line with our beliefs, that is in line with our values, then we get millions of Ghanaians who don't want to be part of the conventional banking system. And what does that do? It builds capital formation for the economic development that we are all looking at. And as I said, the Islamic economic system is also based on asset backing and risk sharing. And so if you have that kind of financial system, what it does is that it builds a strong and resilient economy as opposed to the kind of economies that we have in the Western world, which is based on just profit making without any ethical consideration underlying it. One way of the Islamic financing system also impacting on our economy is its ethical nature. Our culture emphasizes on ethics, our sense of community, our respect for fairness, and these are all embedded in Islamic economic principles that if you're able to adopt it, it will help in the conduct of business and even in the public life. And then finally, let me say that if you adopt the Islamic economic system, Ghana will become a hub for Islamic financing in West Africa. There are so many investors in the Middle East who want to invest in countries, but they want to invest in economic activities that are in line with their beliefs, right? And so this is the right time. I think we are even late as a country by adopting this kind of economic system, especially on the financing side. Because there are so many business opportunities in East Europe or Middle East that are looking for the kind of economic activities that are in line with the principles of Islam, but they are not getting that kind of opportunities. And so now that we are moving in that direction, the expectation is that there will be a lot of investments from Middle East that will inure to the benefit of our country. So let me end my presentation by saying that